to our News Digest segment on Bola Tinubu Television, a program where we x-ray and analyze top stories from headlines, dailies, and what is trending globally. I'm your host, Ololade Bolariwa, and my analyst is Mr. Akayode. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. Welcome to the program. All right, Mr. Kayode Awolere is a researcher and a public affairs analyst. He's also a scholar of politics and conflict resolution, and a lecturer at university level. So today, let's look at the headlines for today. Vanguard Tinubu 6 NAS back into fast-track state police. On this day's newspaper, Benue and Plateau killings, DSS arraigned 9 crime suspects. On Daily Trust, I can end banditry in 2 months, Zamfara State Governor. On Major Discuss, conviction of Simeon Ekpa in Finland. Alright, so let's start with about the Tinubu 6 NACs back into fast track. President Bola Tinubu has now approached the National Assembly to push forward the creation of state police, a reform that has been demanded for many years. Interestingly, the president has not publicly addressed this until recently. I mean, my analyst, do you think the state policy is a real solution to Nigeria's security crisis?
Of course, yes. It's the issue of state police, the importance cannot be overemphasized. We all know that Nigeria is facing serious security challenges, and this has been going on for decades. So there's a need for us to decentralize our policing system in such a way that those who police the system also have good understanding of the system. The kind of system of policing system that we are presently running now in the country is such a very centralized system in the way that those who control the system do not have very good understanding of the various areas of the Nigerian state. This is a very diverse country, and so we need a decentralized policing system, a police force that will be able to understand the peculiarities of different areas of the country. So if the president is now saying that he wants to push for that, it's all good. It's a very welcome development. We all know that state governors have been advocating for that. They have different groups in Nigeria have been advocating for that. We have different socio-cultural groups like Afenifere, Oranis, the Indigo, the Middle Belt Forum of Nigeria, all different groups, various groups within the Nigerian state, demanding for the creation of state police as a result of the serious security challenges that the country is confronting. So if the president is now willing to do the needful, then it's a very welcome development. That will help us to address security challenges at the grassroots, and that will also strengthen the country's internal security. So this is a welcome development. And for even before now, we have seen different state governors creating ad hoc security organizations that are helping to complement the effort of the Nigerian police force. We have seen the creation of Amotekun, we have seen the creation of ISBA police in Kano, and different other groups in security institutions in other parts of the country. So this is a welcome development.
All right. I mean, so why do you think Tinubu is suddenly addressing this long-standing agitation now? Because I mean, this thing has been like forever. Why do you think he's suddenly coming up to it now that okay, this is the next thing that I'm meant to do?
Well, you cannot say the timing is wrong. Of course, we all know that he just came on board 2 years ago.
So not just though.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly, but it's still less than 3 years that he came in, and if he's addressing this in his first term, then that's good. That's good for the system, because it all means that the president means well for the country. So there's no time that can be said to be wrong or that can be said to be late. The point is he doing the right thing? If he's doing the right thing, then we should all support him.
All right. I mean, the way I'm looking at it, don't you think it's like a political move to just woo the the public?
Well, if the move is political than altruistic, then it's a good political move. So if you want to politicize the move, then it's a good political move. Not all issues should be politicized, especially when it comes to security. So if people are reading political meanings to this, then let the president do it because he has that political intention. But the point is, will it strengthen the security of the Nigerian state? Yes. And if we strengthen the security of the Nigerian state, we should look at the overall good and think less about the political aspect of it.
Okay, now let's look at it. Even if this, if it is enacted, I mean, what practice changes should Nigerians expect in this short time that he announced it? Like, okay, let's say, he said he was going to, work about the, the security. I mean, even if, he established everything and their security and all of those things, what changes do you think Nigerians should expect in this, in his term?
Now, let's put this in the right context. The president cannot just pronounce the establishment of state police without first establishing the legal framework for the implementation. So the president will have to send a bill to the National Assembly to that effect. The National Assembly will have to look at the bill, even accept different contributions from Nigerians, from different stakeholders on the workability of the state police before it to be now formally enacted into law, and then that legal framework will now determine how it will be operated. But I think, if you ask me, the state police should be immunized from politics so that the governors will not abuse the establishment of state police, because that has been one of the strong arguments against the establishment of state police, that should state police be established, state governors can probably use state police to which hunt their opponent. They can abuse their powers by using state police to persecute perceived opposition or opponents. So, or to silence the force of opposition within their respective states. So, I think a clause should be put into the constitution that we seriously make it impossible for state governors to abuse state police by using them to persecute opponents or perceived opponents in their respective states.
Not even their own personal use, because I mean, you start seeing them police. They always carry police around.
Of course,
those things.
Of course. Once it's put in the constitution, in the law that we establish that state police, it will be so impossible for them to use it for their self-aggrandizement. So I think there should be that clause in the constitution, especially when it comes to politics, that they will not be able to use state police, to fester their political interests, especially when they are dealing with opposition.
All right, so let's move to Benue State Plateau killings. DSS arraigned 9 prime suspects. Shifting focus to Benue and Plateau, where recent killings have done again made headlines. The DSS has now arraigned 9 prime suspect links to these attacks, and the public questions will be the justice delivered, or another case that fades into political delay. What does this swift arraignment of suspects indicate about government's commitment?
Now, that's a very good development. If you ask me, it's a positive development. We have all been asking government to be more proactive in the way it handles cases that concern terrorists, bandits, rather than giving them opportunity for negotiation, which has not really worked. We have seen recently how Finland government handle the case of Simeon Ekpa. So this is something that is a welcome development. Government should be more proactive in the way it responds to terrorism-related cases or cases of banditry by prosecuting, very proactively, swiftly, those who have been found to be behind these killings that has been too many, on our land. We have seen many killings even beyond Plateau and Benue. We have seen in southern Kaduna, we have seen in Zamfara, we have seen in Kebbi, we have seen in Sokoto. Thank God that recently the case in Kaduna has subsided, and now we have seen better improvement in the security situation in Kaduna in the last 2 years under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. So we should ask government to be more proactive, and if government is doing that, then we should also commend government for doing the needful.
All right, thank you. And do you think this marks real progress in tackling the elder farmer crisis?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. But government should not just rely so much on responding to the situation. Because what government is doing now is that government is responding to the situation. Government should rather be more proactive in putting in place preventive measures that will curb these attacks even from taking place. So government should work more on how the farmers and herders can live peacefully, harmoniously within these communities in Plateau, in Benue, where we have experienced series of attacks. So it should not just be responding to the situation. Government should be proactive in putting in place preventive mechanism. So in this regard, there should be emphasis on conflict resolution. How do we resolve conflict peacefully in such a way that it will not degenerate into violence between farmers and herders? And that's where the traditional rulers come into play. The traditional rulers should be empowered to resolve conflict within their respective localities, rather than allowing this conflict to escalate to the point that the herders and the farmer will start attacking each other. I think that has been the serious problem that we have not been able to address in this country. So government should lay more emphasis or put more emphasis on how these killings can be curbed, rather than arresting and dealing with the suspect. So there should be more effort put into preventive mechanism, resolving conflict before they degenerate. And in doing this, government should also strengthen. Not just the traditional rulers, but even the local government in respective in a different part of the country. And we should commend the federal government under President Bola Tinubu for the local government autonomy. But that has not been fully enforced. That has not been fully enforced. Virtually in most part of the country, we have seen local government that are mere local government on paper, but are not really government in reality, because most of these state local government chairmen are answerable to their state governors, who just unpick them a form of selection. So there should be more effort when it comes to democratic elections at the local government level, so that we can have local government who will be strong enough to handle matters within their respective localities. So they will not be working hand in hand with the local government, with the traditional rulers within their local government. And this, in a way, we help to bring government closer to the people in different localities of the country. So the farmer herders conflict, we should look beyond just responding through prosecution of suspects, and put in place preventive mechanisms that will help us to reduce this series of attacks that we have been experiencing in the past decades.
All right, thank you. So let's move to Daily Trust. Zamfara State Governor, I can end banditry in 2 months. In Zamfara, Governor Dauda Lawal stated that it can end banditry in just 2 months, provided he had control of security agencies. His comments underscore ongoing frustration with the federalized security structure and raise the questions. Is this realistic or mere political rhetoric? And how credible is this claim from the Zamfara State Governor?
Well, it comes back to the issue of the state police that we have talked about. But we should also understand where the Zamfara State Governor is coming from. I think Zamfara State Governor is not, he's trying to prove a point, or he's trying to make a point, if I can understand him very well, that he's not enjoying a very good relationship or a cordial relationship with security forces. Perhaps maybe that also has to do with the fact that the former governor of the state, which he defeated, I've forgotten his name now, the person he took over from, he defeated the candidate of APC, who happens to be the former governor of the state. and is now the Minister of State for Defense. Perhaps because of the fact that he's not enjoying cordial relationship with the military as a result of the fact that he is an opposition or is an opponent to the man who happens to be the Minister of State for Defense, and because of that he's not enjoying cordial relationship. I wouldn't know, but I'm just trying to understand where he's coming from. So if you have state police that can help to complement whatever the federal security agencies are doing, where it's, like I said, it's going to help the situation. But the way it is now, presently, we can still work around it, before the state police will be formally created. We can still work around it to ensure that banditry, all forms of terrorism are swiftly addressed. So the state governor is not just enough to make that pronouncement to say that if he has the cooperation of the federal security agencies, that he will be able to solve the problem of banditry in 2 months. Let him also, come down from his high horse and work cooperatively with the security agencies. I believe the National Security Advisor, in the person of Nnamdi is doing a very good work. You can see recently when they arrested through intelligence, they arrested the leaders of Ansaru, who have been very evasive, for so many years. And recently they were just arrested, and you can see even the government of the United States of America commending the Nigerian government for that major security breakthrough, because these are terrorist leaders that have sponsored terrorism across that northwest region to even some part of north central in Niger State, in Kwara. So their recent arrest is something that is very highly commendable, and we should work more, especially our political leaders at the state level should work more to cooperate with the federal security agencies, both the military and the intelligence agencies like DSS and NIA, to be able to address whatever security challenges that they have within their respective states. So it's not just enough to make that statement that they can enhance banditry in 2 months if he has the cooperation of the federal security agencies. You should also look, at how he can, enjoy that coordination with the federal security agencies. I believe that they will also be willing to work with him if he's ready to work with them. So the two parties in this case should work together. They should leave whatever political issues that they're having or whatever political differences that they're having, and work for the overall good of the Nigerian state by working cooperatively. So I don't think the state governor is completely right by saying he can end banditry in 2 months if he enjoys the good relationship with the military. You should also look at how you can have that good relationship with them. So the issue of security should not be in any way politicized, because it's in the collective interest of all Nigerians.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's move to major discuss. We have conviction of Simeon Ekpa in Finland. Now, this week, major topic: Simeon Ekpa was convicted in Finland and sentenced to 6 years in prison for terrorism, related offences, tax fraud, and incitement through illegal means, including arming groups and issuing sit-at-home order via social media platforms. Ekpa is infamous for enforcing a weekly sit-at-home in southeast Nigeria, particularly Mondays. Measures that have been linked to over 700 deaths and a 7.6 trillion economic loss. I mean, as a conflict resolution scholar that you are, how do you view Finland's handling versus our own judiciary system here?
Well, we can all see it's clear as daylight. This is obvious that the judicial system in Finland is more effective when it comes to adjudication of terrorism case. We can see the way they have handled the prosecution of Simeon Ekpa in a very swift manner. In less than a year, they have successfully, judicial system in Finland has successfully convicted Simeon Ekpa. But it's not yet all good for the Nigerian state. Simeon Ekpa still has window to appeal this particular case. And should he appeal this case, it means that we should still wait to know what the outcome will be. But I must say that we should commend Finland, the Finnish government, for this prosecution of Simeon Ekpa. It's something that is very commendable, and I think it will help to strengthen the diplomatic relations between the two countries, between Finland and Nigerian states.
All right. So, what lessons can Nigeria learn about prosecuting terrorism and anti-secession offences?
Well, it is, like I said, this is very clear as they like. We should remove all the bottlenecks, all the technicalities that delay terrorism-related cases. Nigerians do not just want to hear that suspect has been arrested, that terror suspect has been arrested, bandit has been arrested. We want to see diligent prosecution of these cases in such a way that those who have been found guilty, those who have been found to have committed the infractions for which they are charged, are convicted in a very timely manner. So all those bottlenecks, barriers, technicalities that delay adjudication of cases should be removed. We should work more on how we can, administer justice, because there's this saying that justice delayed is justice denied. So if we really want to secure the support of the Nigerians, or the support of the people, we should be seen to be doing the right thing in a very timely manner. So it's not just enough for the government or for the security agencies to say that we have arrested certain number of suspects. Let them be diligent prosecution of those who have been arrested. Whatever bottlenecks that our judicial system is experiencing that delay in these cases should be addressed and removed out of the system, so that we can have effective administration of justice in a timely manner, especially when it comes to terrorism-related cases.
All right, speaking about doing the right thing in a timely manner, what do you think is delaying Nnamdi Kanu's case? I mean, we're going to relate this to Nnamdi Kanu. What do you think? Because he has been there. I mean, he has been arrested, like, I think, since 2023. So what do you think is still delaying his prosecution and all of those things till date?
Well, like I said, there are different bottlenecks and also technicalities that are confronting our judicial system. One, when you talk about the technicalities, there is also the issue of the way he was brought back to the Nigerian state. That it was, rather than us following through the legal means, for his extradition to Nigeria, he was more or less kidnapped in a manner that was very unlawful. And if the Nigerian state has done the wrong thing, you cannot put a building on a wrong foundation. So I think also challenge the right of the Nigerian state to prosecute him, given the fact that he was unlawfully brought back to the Nigerian state by being kidnapped, rather than being extradited through the legal procedure. That's one aspect. There are also issue of politicization of this case. When judges are being accused of being biased in the way they will handle this particular case, because this is a very sensitive matter. If you care to know, it's a very sensitive matter, and whoever is going to listen to these terrorism charges against Nnamdi Kanu must be seen in court, must be seen. Whoever is going to listen or administer that case as a judge must be seen to be someone who will be fair, who will not be biased. Because when it comes to issues of struggle for self-determination that is often based on ethnic nationalism, as we have in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, then we can see strong emotional attachment from his people who are in support of Nnamdi Kanu, and who are also demanding that he be released. So whoever is going to listen to his case must be a judge that will be seen to be fair, not somebody that will be seen to, even before the case will start, to be biased. So we have also seen that as one of the major bottlenecks that has been delaying administration of justice in respect to the Nnamdi Kanu case, because I think a number of times he has asked that the judge listening to his case should be asked to step aside, and he demanded for because the judge will not be fair to him, and he has for another judge to listen to that case. So these are all issues that have been delaying administration of justice in respect to the charges against Nnamdi Kanu. You have also seen even leaders from the southeast demanding that he be released, that on the basis of political consideration, that if he is released, that agitations in the southeast will subside and there will be peace. So we have seen leaders, even the late leader of Ndibo, in person of Chief Emmanuel, that recently died, that recently died. He also demanded that President Bola Tinubu should release this to him. They have been seeking political solution rather than the legal prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu that we are currently having. That through political solution, peace can be returned or can be restored to the southeast. So all these are issues that the federal government needs to navigate in the prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu.
All right, speaking of peace, do you think if he finally get released, do you think there would be that peace when he get released?
Well, you see, the question is, have we really addressed, as the Nigerian state really addressed the issues that brought about these agitations in the first place? And that is why we should not just celebrate now. We should not celebrate yet. Even if Simeon Ekpa appeals and his appeal fails, we should not celebrate yet. Even if Simeon Ekpa today is thrown into jail, into prison, we should not celebrate, because this is what we call decapitation strategy in counter-terrorism. We cannot just remove the leader and say because the leader has been taken out there, whatever agitations or whatever violence that we are experiencing will stop or will end. No, it won't stop. It won't stop with the agitations. It will not even stop the violence. It will not even stop the violence. We have to look beyond, prosecution or beyond the use of force to address this issue, especially when it comes to ethnic nationalism or agitations or terrorism that is based on the issue of religion. In this instance, it's based on the issue of ethnicity, a particular ethnic nationality seeking for self-determination, in the case of the Southeast. So when we have such a very delicate issue, that has been securitized, as a threat to the survival of the Nigerian state. So it's not just enough to securitize this issue. The Nigerian state should be more proactive in addressing the concerns, the legitimate concerns of the people of the Southeast. We have we experienced war, the post-war reconciliation, the Biafra war, the Nigerian Biafra civil war. We should look at the post-conflict reconciliation. That issue has not been settled finally. The dust has not yet been settled. So we need to look at addressing the legitimate concern of the people of the Southeast, because demands for secession cannot just die without the concerns, the legitimate concerns being addressed. So even if Nnamdi Kanu is convicted today, I doubt if this matter will end. There will be other groups that will spring up that will demand for the same thing that Nnamdi Kanu is demanding for. So even if you take Nnamdi Kanu out of the picture, so I think there should be effort, in the direction of addressing the legitimate concern of the people of the Southeast.
All right, that'll be all for now on News Digest today. We've taken you through the major headlines, shared insights, and had deep conversations around security, justice, and governance. A big thank you to you, my analyst. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. And of course, to you, our viewers, staying tuned. Until next time, I'm Bola Tinubu. Do have a wonderful day.